Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Off the Bench podcast. My name is Robert Sellers, and what a fantastic game we had in Norman, Oklahoma between the 9-seed Crimson Tide and the 8-seed Oklahoma Sooners. What a beautiful way to kick off the 2025-2026 college football playoffs. I mean, it was just absolutely phenomenal. I cannot believe, sitting here after that game and watching it play out, I can't even fathom how on earth the game played out the way that it did. It was crazy. I mean, of course, if you didn't watch for some reason or you need a quick recap, the Alabama Crimson Tide were down 17-0 after the first quarter and a little bit into the second quarter. Oklahoma was moving the ball so well. The Alabama Crimson Tide offense had 3 straight 3-and-outs to start the game. It looked dead in the water. It looked like they had zero chance, and yet they came completely storming back in the football game and ended up winning it 34-24 behind a fantastic game from the receivers, big-time step up from the defense, and just an overall unreal effort from the coaching staff, from the players, from everyone involved to get this thing across the finish line and to get the Crimson Tide a big-time victory, their first victory in the 12-team college football playoff era. And honestly, if you were to tell me that one of these teams, either if it was Oklahoma or Alabama, if you were to tell me one of them would go down in this game 17-0, I would have told you there is no chance that they would come back to win that game. I mean, the way that both of these offenses have been playing this entire year and the way both of their defenses have been playing, if Alabama or Oklahoma was down that much, that early in the game, I would have thrown the towel out the window. I would have said there's no way that Ty Simpson or John Mateer is going to lead this comeback, let alone drop 34 points in 3 quarters. Like, what? Alabama scored the second most points they have against an SEC team all year long, and it was on the road at arguably the best defense in the conference, which is just crazy. I feel like we're not going to talk about enough how crazy of a performance this was from Alabama's offense going up against an elite Oklahoma defense. I feel like the story of this football game almost completely mirrored the story of the Alabama Crimson Tide all season long. I mean, if we look at how this Alabama team has played this year, of course, they started off with a terrible loss by double digits on the road at Florida State. And after that loss, everyone was doubting this team. I mean, not a single college football personality was behind the Crimson Tide. Everyone was just completely out on them, and rightfully so. They played terrible in that game. And even all the Alabama fans were hating on the team. Everyone, I cannot tell you how many Alabama fans told me that it is ridiculous that Kalen DeBoer is still there. They need to fire the man, get him out of here. He's ruining our Southern culture. He's an absolutely terrible football coach. And all the hate was on Alabama. They were down big to start the year. And yet, Kalen DeBoer scrounged together 10 wins in the regular season, got his team to the SEC championship game, and found a way to snag a playoff spot. Despite all the odds, despite all the deficit, the Crimson Tide are into the second round of the college football playoffs, and that's exactly what happened in this game. They were down big early, and it was really unfortunate for the Crimson Tide, 17-0, a huge deficit, and yet their coaching staff did not give up. Their players did not give up. They still held that same Bama mentality, and they went out and finished the game on a 34-7 run to win it on the road at one of the best defenses in the country. Impeccable performance. I remember thinking after the Florida State game, which Alabama lost, I remember I said to myself, well, this is Kalen DeBoer's moment. I mean, he's got the talent. He definitely does. The recruiting classes are fantastic. He's got the staff around him, but everyone's down. So can he resurrect this season? Can he change the culture and get this team where it needs to be? That's exactly what he's done, and that's exactly what happened in this game. They were down big, and yet DeBoer and the entire coaching staff and just the passion and the pride of this Alabama team willed their way to a big-time victory. So I thought it was really, really impressive to watch, and an awesome game, fantastic football game. But what was so fascinating to me about this game, looking at it after watching it, this was like the exact same game that we saw in November between the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Oklahoma Sooners, with the roles reversed. Do we remember what happened in that game? Alabama had way more first downs than Oklahoma. They completely outgained them in total yards, had more passing yards by far. They were the better team. They had way many more yards, and they moved the ball so much better. And yet Oklahoma just won the big plays. They got the pick six. They got the muff punt. They got the strip sack fumble. And because they won the turnover battle and made big plays when it mattered the most, they found a way to win. In this game, it was the complete opposite. I mean, Oklahoma had the first down advantage, 11-12. They had the total yards advantage, 362 to 260. They had 100 more total yards than the Alabama Crimson Tide. They were way better on third down. Oklahoma was 7 for 17 on third down. Alabama was 2 for 12. Oklahoma had way more rushing yards. They had 7 more minutes of time of possession. Like, Oklahoma, for the most part, outplayed Alabama in this football game on the stat sheet. But again, Alabama this time, they won the game the Oklahoma way. They won the big plays. And a lot of those big plays, of course, were big mistakes from Oklahoma. But I just thought it was so fascinating that exactly what happened between the Oklahoma Sooners and the Alabama Crimson Tide in their first matchup happens in the second matchup with the roles flipped. I just think that is crazy. I mean, college football is unbelievable, y'all. No one has any idea what's going on. I mean, I cannot tell you how many Alabama friends and Alabama fans were texting me when they were down 17-0 saying, oh my gosh, we're cooked. It's over. We'd be lucky to lose 31-0. We're not going to get a first down all game. And yet, they just miraculously pull 34 points right out of their hat. I don't understand how they did it. So an unbelievable performance from the Tide, and just a weird way to win this game. I mean, the mistakes I'm talking about that Oklahoma made down the stretch. You know what? I'll talk about Alabama first. First of all, the first thing that I have to note about this Alabama team, their receivers played the best game I've seen them play all season long. 100%. I feel like to start this year, everyone was sort of terrified of Alabama's receivers. They saw Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, and Jeremy Bernard and say, we can't play man coverage against these guys. They're too good. We're going to drop back in zone. We're going to take away the deep ball, and we're going to make Ty Simpson pick us apart. That's what teams said at the beginning of the year. And Ty Simpson did exactly that. In the Georgia game, in the Vandy game, they ran so many zone coverage snaps, and Alabama was able to figure it out and pick it apart without their receivers having to play phenomenally. But recently, teams have said, okay, Ty, you're going to pick us apart. Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to blitz, and we're going to run man-to-man coverage and make your receivers win. And that's where they've gotten Alabama. Auburn ran a lot of man coverage. Tennessee ran a lot of man coverage. Georgia ran so much man coverage in that football game. And Alabama's receivers just didn't make the big plays. They weren't open consistently. And because of that, Ty Simpson really struggled because he didn't have really a go-to option. But tonight, Oklahoma, weirdly, I don't know why they did this, because they never have, but they decided to run a lot of man coverage because other teams have had success with it. And Alabama's receivers finally came through in a big-time way, making big-time plays to win this football game. I mean, we know what Latsier Brooks did in this game. Latsier Brooks, guys, is a true freshman, 3-star recruit, and he was Alabama's best receiver today. He was balling out. The 2 touchdowns that he had are his 2 first career touchdowns in college, and they were both in this game in the playoffs. The first touchdown he had, that was just a miraculous effort. The catch, the spin move, the broken tackle, and then the 360 spin dive into the end zone. That was all Latsier Brooks. And then, of course, he made a big catch on the on a 30-yard touchdown deep corner route, I think is what it was. So Latsier Brooks came to play. Jeremy Bernard made a heck of a catch. I mean, my goodness. Reaching over the defender's helmet, plucking it out, holding it above. Just unreal stuff from Jeremy Bernard. I cannot believe he caught that ball. So he made a big play against man coverage. And then Isaiah Horton on the deep go route against Eli Bowen. I think it was Eli Bowen. He had the big height advantage. He made a great catch. Of course, Ty made a great throw. But I think Alabama needed their wide receivers to step up in this game, and they did more than they have in any other game I've watched them play this season. That was fantastic. I thought Kane Womack's adjustments on defense were amazing. I thought, Alabama got Oklahoma into a lot of obvious passing downs, and because of that, Womack was able to dial up a ton of awesome blitzes in this game. They ran a lot of stunts, whether it was nut stunts, stunts on the outside with the 2 edge rushers, whatever it was working for Kane Womack. Keon Keeley played fantastic. I thought Alabama's linebackers and defensive backs have been playing such better football this year as the season has gone on. Linebackers specifically, Nakai Hill-Green and Justin Jefferson played so good out there today. They played physical ball. They didn't run. Oklahoma tried to run counter so many times, and Nakai Hill-Green and Justin Jefferson were out there playing ball, taking people's heads off, and it was really fun to see. I thought that Xavier Brown, I know he had the pick 6, but other than that, Xavier Brown is such an unselfish football player. He leverages the football so well. He can tackle awesomely. He runs a great man coverage when they ask him to. Xavier Brown, in my opinion, is the best player on this football team, period. He is so good, and he had a great game tonight. Red Morgan, oh my goodness. If you want to watch a nickel just play ball out there, just watch 16 in white and crimson on the Rose Bowl on January 1st, he will take anyone's head off. If you try and run a screen pass in his vicinity, like he's not even looking at the ball. He will just take the blocker's head off. It's awesome to watch. I love it. Damani Jackson got a lot more playing time in this game, which is a little weird. I don't know why Dijon Lee wasn't out there, but he played, I guess, better as the game went on. So shout out Damani Jackson for being out there playing good. I thought, of course, to me, the weak spot still on this team has been the weak spot the last 3 seasons, the lack of pass rush, or I should say the last 2 seasons, is the lack of pass rush this team generates. I mean, John Mateer a lot of times had all day to throw back there, and I'm gonna shout him out a little bit when I talk about Oklahoma. But I mean, when Alabama, like, it is such a hard task to ask your zone coverage to cover for 5 seconds or more. I mean, someone is going to get open. That's how football works. So I think if Alabama needs to step up in any area defensively, it has to be pass rushing. It has to be those edge rushers getting home to the quarterback more consistently. And they did a lot in the second half, but in my opinion, a lot of those sacks were coverage sacks. Like, yeah, they got home faster, but when you sack a quarterback after 4 seconds, after his first read's taken away, second read's taken away, third read's taken away, oh shoot, I'm sacked, that is a coverage sack. That's a big shout out to the secondary. So I thought the Crimson Tide defense played great in the secondary, and their linebackers were spectacular. Offensively, I thought the offensive line played better than it looked like they played. And I know if I say anything good about this Alabama offensive line, it doesn't make sense because Ty was pressured all night. I understand they couldn't run the ball. I get it. I just think that Ryan Grubb did a great job adjusting to what Brent Venables gave him in the November matchup to then negate a lot of what Oklahoma did successfully to win that game. Like, I've said it all week long. Alabama has to identify Kip Lewis and their pass protection schemes. They have to. And I swear, I don't know if I was just because I was looking at it or looking for it, but every time number 10, Kip Lewis for Oklahoma, was bubbling around the middle of the field, I swear I saw either Gio Vandermark or Parker Brailsford point him out and say, we got to block that guy. That guy is coming, and we got to make sure that he doesn't come free at our quarterback, because that's how we lost the game last time. So they adjusted there, which I was so glad to see. Like, I would have been so mad at Ryan Grubb from just a football watching standpoint if he had not ID'd Kip Lewis in the pass protection, but he did. Really proud of him for that. I will say Alabama's offense still cannot run the ball consistently, and that is a problem. Like, this game, I know Tate Sandell had the 2 missed field goals. Let's just say theoretically Oklahoma scored a touchdown on one of those possessions, or they made the field goal. Like, they would have been in this game when this game would have been a lot closer, and we're not talking about that right now because it didn't happen. But if Alabama can just run the ball successfully at the end of games, that would not even have even mattered. Oklahoma would not even have gotten the ball back. And they still can't do that. I think that's still definitely a weak point on this team. It looks like Parker Brailsford is not entirely at 100% quite yet. I don't think Cam Dewberry is elite on the offensive line. But they did make a couple big-time run-blocking creases for Daniel Hill in this game. Alabama had their longest run since week 2 in this game, which was from Daniel Hill, and it was a spectacularly blocked play. So Alabama's offensive line, they did play better than I thought they were going to. Still not elite, but we cannot expect elite play from this Alabama offensive line this year. That was almost the best that we're going to get. I am proud of that unit. So big time win for Alabama. They go on to face Indiana January 1st in the Rose Bowl. SEC versus Big Ten, upcoming new team versus one of the classical dominant teams in the sport. It'll be a clash of culture. It'll be a clash of system. I am really excited to watch that game. I love both of these teams, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll honestly be happy if either of these teams wins. I really love both of these teams in the way that they play football and the stories of their year. I think they're both great. So that being said, let's talk about Oklahoma for a little bit. First of all, amazing 10 out of 10 environment in Norman, Oklahoma. I wasn't there personally, but that place looked like it was bouncing around all game long. The lead up to it was spectacular. It delivered 100% full throttle. That place, I imagine, was just absolutely going nuts when they were up 17-0. The light shows were amazing. Everything about that place is awesome. The Palace on the Prairie really is just a great place for college football, and they know how to do things right in Norman. I have to say that before I start talking about Oklahoma. I really thought that this was the quintessential John Mateer game. Like, 100% it was. John Mateer played really, really good in this game a lot of the time. He made some elite throws. That's just what John Mateer does. Like a lot of I remember Kirk and Chris kept saying in the game, Alabama's linebackers, they have to drop further back in their secondary, in their curl drops to guard those deep crossing routes. John Mateer was just making unbelievable throws. Like his ability to layer the football is crazy. And yeah, I get Alabama left those guys open, but I mean, Mateer and his pocket presence was so good in this game too. I gave Mateer a lot of crap in my film review of the last time these two teams played, of not being patient enough in the pocket. I thought that completely changed in this game. He was patient in the pocket, and even when the pocket collapsed and the play broke down, he made fantastic plays with his legs. I thought Oklahoma's first touchdown, where they ran counter, a lot of people were saying, wow, it was a great blocked play. He had a great cutback lane. That play got blown up. Like the touchdown play, the first touchdown of the game, Mateer tried to run left counter. I think they ran GH counter to the left. Alabama completely blew it up. Nikhil Green dented the counter beautifully. But John Mateer was like, you know what? The play's not looking good. I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to cut back. I'm going to make 2 defenders miss, and I'm going to put the team on my back and score. That's what he did all game long. So he had some amazing, amazing moments and played phenomenally. But he also made a couple of really dumb mistakes. And that is just John Mateer for you right there. He looks amazing. He looks like an NFL caliber player with unreal arm talent. And then he misreads an RPO and throws a pick six. And that's exactly what happened. That play was huge. It was a game-changing play. The pick six to Zabian Brown. And shout out Zay for being right there and making a play on Mateer to score a touchdown. But, man, John Mateer, you got to hand that ball. That was an RPO, and he just made the complete wrong read. It was just completely incorrect from him. And we saw that in the first 2 times these two teams played. I thought Alabama should have gotten 2 pick sixes on Mateer in that game. They dropped one, and one they batted down to the line of scrimmage, which was really unfortunate for them because Deontay Pierre was right there. But they finally got the pick six that they deserved to get in the first game. In the second game these two teams played, which, again, was just a terrible decision from John Mateer. But other than that, I mean, Oklahoma just really lost this game in 4 big plays. I mean, the pick six, the punt, I mean, I don't really understand what happened with Oklahoma's punter there. Like, he just sort of dropped the ball. Like, he could have kicked it, too. Like, it looked clean, and then he dropped it, gave Alabama great field position. Alabama was able to convert that into a field goal and really just sort of continued to suck the energy out of that stadium, which was really hard to do because there was a lot of energy in there. And then the 2 missed field goals, of course, were big. Obviously, the game does not fall on the kicker's shoulders. Even if he had made both of those field goals, you know, it still would have been a 6-point loss for Oklahoma? No, that's not good math, Robert. A 4-point loss for Oklahoma. Goodness gracious. But that being said, it really was just a few big plays that ended up biting Oklahoma. But I think that that this team has taken so many great steps forward. I think that their wide receivers balled out in scramble drill today. I mean, when Mateer was scrambling around, when the pocket collapsed, their wide receivers did such a good job following him and just making plays. Deion Burks played his heart out in this game, made so many big-time catches, so many big-time plays, which was great to see. I thought Isaiah Statine has been their main guy all year. Alabama did a great job limiting him, but in his absence, some of their other guys really stepped up, which was really impressive. I think their offensive line might be like the biggest improvement from this Oklahoma team all year. Do we remember how terrible Oklahoma's offensive line was last year? I mean, it was awful. They were last in the SEC in sacks allowed. They were just getting ran through by almost every single team in the country. And this year, I mean, their offensive line has taken a huge step forward. In this game alone, they gave Mateer a lot of time, like a really, really good time on dropbacks. That's a young offensive line that played really, really good against a talented Alabama front seven. So I'm really impressed with what I saw there. And I just have to give a shout out. Oklahoma's linebackers and corners are so good in pass protection. They're so disciplined. You can tell they watch so much tape, whether it's the Bowen brothers, whether it's Owen Heineke or Mackenzie 11 or Kip Lewis. They're all so good in pass protection. They make things really difficult for Ty Simpson. Like I talked about in the podcast, Ty wants to take his 5-step drops, and when he's at the top of his drop, he then wants to rip the football. And that means his first or second progression has to be open. Oklahoma did an unbelievable job taking away his first and second progressions. Better than almost any team in the country other than Georgia has this entire year, in my opinion. So, big-time performance from them, too. Venables is still an absolute mastermind. I mean, some of the blitzes he draws up are just crazy. And he has so many. Like, he comes up with new ones, like multiple new blitzes every single game. He's a maniac. R. Mason Thomas played amazing in this game. And Oklahoma, honestly, they played a really good football game. They were great on third down. This is the best offensive game I think I've seen Oklahoma play all year long, other than like maybe South Carolina. And given that, they just made a couple crucial mistakes, and there were some plays that Alabama made that you just have to tip your cap to, whether it was the perfect throw from Ty Simpson to Zay Horton down the sideline, or the Jerry Bernard catch, or the Latsier Brooks play, whatever it was. Sometimes, as a defensive team, you just have to tip your cap to the other offense that's just balling out. So I think Oklahoma should hold their heads up high. They played a great game. They had a great year. No one even thought Oklahoma was going to make the playoffs this year. I picked them to be in the playoffs, personally. I got a lot of things wrong. I had Clemson and Penn State in the playoffs, but I also had Oklahoma. So I'm taking all the credit for that, none of the blame, which shouldn't be done. Y'all should blame me for picking Clemson and Penn State. I was wrong. I should be punished for that. I also picked Navy, but I support the troops. Don't blame me. I'm American. I'm red-blooded. And also, I do have to say, the ball really bounced Alabama's way in this game. It really did. Whether it was the field goal just tailing off to the left and barely missing, or it was the many fumbles that both of these teams had. I felt like every time there was a fumble, Alabama recovered it. The punter just randomly dropping the ball. The ball literally bounced the right way for Alabama in that play. And sometimes as a football team, you can do whatever you can to control the things you can control. But the things you can't control sort of just sometimes come back to bite you. And that's what happened with Oklahoma. But they still had a great season, great year for the Sooners. And just what a start. What an unbelievable way to kick off the 2025-2026 playoffs. I think we're in for a fantastic day tomorrow. I think Miami A&M is going to be just cinematic. It's going to be unreal. I've got Miami winning that game. I had Alabama winning tonight, so I'm perfect so far. I've got Miami, Ole Miss, and Oregon tomorrow. And I'm excited to get to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And wow, what a fun matchup we are set for in the second round between the Hoosiers and the Crimson Tide. I can't wait to preview that one. I can't wait to dive deep into both of those teams, watch some film from this game. I should be getting all that out to y'all this week. And one last thing I wanted to say. All those people that doubted Ty Simpson is still a dang good quarterback. And that is not changing. I don't think Ty's ever been the problem. And he played masterfully today, made a couple huge throws. The throw to Latsier Brooks, the throw to Zay Horton, those are dimes. So I was really impressed with him. And I can't wait to watch the rest of the first round of college football playoffs. I'm amped for it. And thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you loved watching this one and Alabama versus Oklahoma. And I just wanted to say that if you take anything away from this video, it's not that Alabama's receivers balled out, or that Oklahoma had a great year, or that the Crimson Tide are going to have a great matchup with the Hoosiers. But it is that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. Just as Ty Simpson said, we would not be where we are at all without him. And I just want everyone here to know that you are loved. Whether you're struggling with whatever it is in your current life, struggles with family, struggles with friends, struggles with your work or your school or whatever it is, you are still loved by God no matter what you do, no matter where you are or who you're with. And you will find the most happiness and the most fulfillment on this planet if you trust his will, if you love him, and through God's love, if you love each other. And we are not placed on this world for judgment or hatred or sin. We are placed on this world to love God and experience his love. So with that, roll Tide. Hoosiers next round. And I've got Go Canes tomorrow. Go Ducks and Go Rebels. So thanks so much for watching. Have a great night. And, have a great Saturday tomorrow.